Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for our first volunteer information session of the year with Alive. My name is Nicole Smith, and I'm Executive Director here at Alive. Just started, brand spanking new, so really excited to that you all have joined on this journey. Just a couple of things. We just want to make sure that your mics are silenced, like just in case. I'm going to ask that you hold all of your questions till the end because there's a lot of really great information, and more than likely we're going to answer a lot of your questions, and then we'll have question and answer towards the end. If you're just joining us, I'm just asking everybody to please put your first name and last name in the chat, as well as your email address where you would like to receive all of the information that we're going to be talking about today. So with that, I am going to go ahead and share and get started. Can everybody see my screen? Like a thumbs up or a yes
Yes.
or... Okay, wonderful. Thank you. There's life behind the black screens. I love it. Okay. Here we go. So today we're going to be talking about introductions, which is really me. Hi, everybody. I'm Nicole. We went through that. The mission and the vision of Alive, how to get involved in answering your questions. So I'd like to start by talking about what our why is, why Alive exists, why we are here. So our mission is that we serve to enhance and sustain the spirit of volunteering by fostering collaboration, networking, promoting professional development, and providing advocacy for leaders in community engagement. And our vision is to be the essential professional resource and advocate for those who engage, motivate, and celebrate volunteers and their vital contributions. What this means is that we exist to support leaders of volunteer engagement, those who are guiding volunteers in our organizations, to support them, encourage them, empower them, because often we are the only ones, often we're the only ones in our organization. We feel like our voice is not heard. So we are here to fight and advocate and support volunteer engagement leaders. Okay, all the screens. All right. So who are we? So many people know, some people don't know, but Alive is actually a 501c3 nonprofit organization. And actually, we are celebrating our 16th birthday this year in June. So we are celebrating our sweet 16. I'm sure there's more to come about that. We have over 1,000 members nationwide in 450 different cities across 47 states and 2 U.S. territories. We help support volunteer managers, volunteer engagement professionals who are driving organizations in we support volunteer managers in 600 different organizations across sectors. So including arts and culture, healthcare, social services, philanthropic, community development, just about every sector that you can think of. How we operate. We are volunteer-led. As a matter of fact, I am our very first full-time paid staff person, and I am the only full-time paid staff person. Occasionally, we will have contractors out that will help, but 95% of the work is done by volunteers. We are volunteer-led. So we're volunteer-led. It's been 16 years. We've had a manager. She was part-time. Many of you all know her, Gretchen. She was holding up the fort and doing so much, but she's still only one person. And with all of the things that you've seen that we have accomplished that I'm going to talk about, it was done with volunteers. So all those people who say volunteers are not reliable and they can't get stuff done has not met Alive and has not seen the things that we have been able to get accomplished. And I love that you all are here because you can become a part of that driving force. This is just a quick slide about the impact that we've had in different sectors in the community. Some of this I'm going to go through pretty quickly, but you're going to get an email with all of this towards the end, so no worries. Here at Alive, when you're helping to support us through volunteering, there's three major buckets through networking and learning and leading. In 2025, for our goals, we are trying to prepare for growth. We are strengthening our infrastructure. We're focusing on fundraising, and we want to increase volunteer and member engagement. Those are the four main things we are focusing on in the upcoming year. Our full strategic plan you will have access to so that you can really get an understanding. And all of this stuff is important because it helps to inform what your why is. I want you to take this time and think to yourself, why am I wanting to volunteer at Alive? Because it's really going to, when you know what your why is, as we go through the different ways to get involved, it's going to help you to identify those ways. And I'm going to stop sharing for just a second because I forgot to share with sound, and I have a video that I want to share. So I want to make sure everybody can hear it. How's everybody doing? So glad to see y'all here. Share with sound. Share. Okay. Am I sharing the right screen? No, I'm not. Hold on. Try again. Third time's a charm. And what is your why? Share with sound. Okay, here we go. So we had a current volunteer share what her why is.
I'm Jen Forrestall in Portland, Oregon, and I am a member and choose to volunteer my time because I see Alive as a tremendous force for good. I'm grateful for the opportunity to collaborate with and learn from volunteer leaders who represent incredible organizations serving vital missions, addressing issues of poverty, housing, animal welfare, hunger, environmental conservation, literacy, and many others. Together, they represent thousands of volunteers working to strengthen our communities. When Alive members come together, we make a serious impact. It's an honor to connect with these amazing volunteer leaders, and I want to do my part to support them and the vital work that they do. It's inspiring.
Thank you, Jen. Okay, all right. So I had talked about the three major categories. I know it's a little bit hard to hear. And so you can actually find that same video on our website, so you can watch it again and hear her if you weren't able to hear her well. So there's three major buckets, right? We had talked about in networking, learning, and leading. So if you want to help and support and your goal, like your why is to broaden your network, or just you really like to be really social, think about helping out with member socials, our volunteer socials in our local associations or ambassador program. If you're more like you want to help learn or you want to expand your learning, you can help support Presenter Boot Camp and Alive Academies, conferences, and things like that. And in our leadership aspect, if you want to gain more experience leading, there's our Service Enterprise, Impact Awards, different committees that you can join and lead to not only get that experience, but volunteer your skills as well. We have over 10 different committees where you can get involved in. I'm listing them here, but at the end, you're going to receive an email so you can go through, and each one of these is on the website. You can read about it a little bit more. The role descriptions are there so you can really get an idea of what it is. But I just wanted to highlight a couple of committees that we have. New this year, we have our development and technology committees. So if you are a tech guru or you're a novice, or you want to get some exposure, or you just want to help out, think about joining the technology committee. If you love partnering with people and talking to people and want to help fund the organization in terms of helping to, especially because our summit is coming up, our in-person summit in 2026, and just really getting the word out about what we do to larger organizations, even things like finding sponsors for our volunteer programs so that you all get wicked benefits, things like that. Think about joining the development committee. We have openings in our marketing committee. So if you like to be creative or like graphics, things like that. I was told that our book club community of practice, which basically what it is a community practice where people come together in the same sector and they idea share and they brainstorm and they help each other out, and or sometimes you can join it to learn something new. Maybe you're moving from hospitals to arts and culture and you want to understand what that's all about. You can join one of our communities of practice. So we're looking for people to lead our book club COP and our disability COP. Also in HR and policy, that's a really great place. If that's somewhere, if like you are thinking that you want to become a board member one day, it's a really great place to start, because we talk about developing policy, but also the entire volunteer onboarding process. So you'll be able to give us great feedback about what you're about to go through. And then with our service enterprise. So service enterprise essentially for us is kind of like what the CVA is for volunteer engagement leaders. The service enterprise is for organizations. So if you want to be a part of an accrediting process and application review, those are some things to think about. We're always open to general admin, and my favorite is Alive pilot programs. To me, that's like our product and development. That's all the stuff that we want to test out and play with and see how it works before launching it to the membership at large. If you're wondering where you fit in, right? So think about it this way. If you're more introverted and you want to be behind the scenes and don't really want to be doing things with a lot of people, think about types of things like general admin, data entry, research, technology, videography, pilot projects, those types of things. On the videography, more like videography editing. And then maybe if you're more front facing and you like really talking with people and networking and that type of thing, then think about leading a committee, joining like our welcoming committee, or helping out with member socials, relationship building, also photography and videography in a different aspect, and perhaps mentoring. In terms of commitment, it can range anywhere from 1 hour a month to upwards well past 20, but it just depends on the time that you have. If you are looking to do something where it's just really, maybe it's a one-off thing, project based, something that you find yourself having a couple of extra hours. Okay, I can knock this out. Think about doing general admin overall support. Same with if you have like, again, a couple of hours and on that administrative side, that's more like something that's going to be a little bit recurring. You know, you have this 1 or 2 hours available every month and it's something that you can do recurring, then you can do that. If you want a little bit more time, you want to commit a little bit more time, get a lot more learning out of it, think about joining a committee. That's anywhere between 4 to 6 hours per month. And then if you're leading a committee, think about 7 to 8 hours, because it's the committee tasks, it's organizing, but you also get to plan and lead the committee. And then board members, that's 15 to 20 hours. And that's something to be thinking about when we open the call for board members later on in the year. Also keep in mind, for every committee, we have a committee chair, and every committee chair, we would love to have a committee coordinator. And basically that is that committee chair's right-hand person that helps them, who is able to step into the role if the committee chair is out on vacation or anything like that, who also knows what's going on. So that's also another type of leadership position. So think about that. And all of our committees at this point have room to have a committee coordinator as well. So what can you expect from us from Alive in terms of you being a part of our volunteer program? We are committed to timely, clear communication. And even if we don't get it right, we're committed to getting it right, even if we make a mistake, and that's why your feedback is so important, so that we can continue to get better. Starting and ending on time. Opportunities for hands-on, meaningful, mission-focused tasks. Support from us through training and other aspects. Connection, professional development, and creating a nurturing and inclusive environment where everyone is welcome. Your uniqueness is our strength. And should you need an accommodation, please let us know, and we will do our best to our ability to provide you with an accommodation that is mutually beneficial. So, what are we as Alive expecting from our volunteers? We are expecting timely communication, staying engaged, recording your hours monthly, speaking truth responsibly, listening to understand, being willing to do things differently and experience discomfort, expect and accept non-closure, confidentiality, understanding that what is said here stays, excuse me, and what is learned here leaves, making space and taking space and permission to speak and draft. These are what we want to do in order to nurture an inclusive environment. And we adapted these from the Center of Equity and Inclusion from Portland, Oregon. So that's what we're expecting from all of our members, all of our volunteers in general, as general volunteers. If you're going to be a committee member, with the expectation and the ask is to attend at least half of the committee meetings each calendar year and at least one per quarter, have a working understanding of Alive and its members, be an Alive member to lead any committee and to be a Alive member, like if the particular committee is voting on anything, to be an Alive member for that. Benefits of being an Alive volunteer. So you have the opportunity to network with other volunteers for Alive nationwide. You have professional development opportunities, eligible for the President's Award, certificate of participation, various types of recognition, and eligible to be nominated for a a Daily Point of Light Award. What we are working on is, if you are not a member of Alive, having a discounted membership rate, getting to access to the Alive archives, mountains of wealth of knowledge in those archives. If you are a current member and you are not taking advantage of it, you absolutely need to. Alive merchandise. If you volunteer for a certain number of hours, you get a shirt or a pin. We're working on those kinds of things. That's also where that development part comes back in, where we can get somebody to sponsor it. You see how it's all coming together? Yeah. Volunteers rule. Okay, or like even a badge, creating and designing badge for social media profiles. So what are the next steps? So this is why, if you joined us a little bit late, I asked everybody to make sure you put your first name, last name, and email address in the chat, and you can send me a direct message as well, because we want to make sure that you get the email that has all of this information for your next steps. And a lot of times people will join with their work email, but they really want everything to go to their personal email. So that's why we just want to know which email to send it to. But you're going to get an email to register to become a volunteer. You'll get an intro video on how to use our volunteer software. You will have an opportunity to select your interests. You will get the volunteer handbook, link to our strategic plan so that you can review it and really see where you fit in. Link to review all of the volunteer opportunities so that you understand also, again, what each committee is working on and where you might like to get involved. Access to all of the position descriptions, access to download a letter to your employer. So if you want to build this into your professional development for the year, we have a standard letter to help you broach the conversation with your employer, to where you can volunteer during the hours and use your Alive volunteer hours during work as part of your professional development plan at work. You will also get a copy of this presentation. Now, if you are registering for the first time and you have used Better Impact in the past, when you log in, because since we use Better Impact, when you log in, on the right-hand side, if you already have a username, you can use the same username and password that you've had before. You'll get added to the Alive database. And then when you log in, you can still just choose Alive as your as the organization that you are volunteering with. So you don't have to create a whole new profile. If you've never used Better Impact, then you will log in on the side that says, I am new to my impact, create your account, and go from there. Make sure to check your spam and add info@volunteeralive.org so that you don't miss any important emails. So After you have sat through this information session, you are ready to start. Upon registering and going through and selecting everything, you will be able to start right away with any general volunteer admin role. So that's things like doing research for us. That's like putting data together, organizing data. We have a lot of admin type things where we need we could really use a lot of the help. So as soon as that's done, you could get started with any general admin um, role that is available. But if you're looking to join a committee, after you submit your registration, we will get notified. And somebody from HR is going to review your application and look at the selections that you chose. And then we're going to connect you with your volunteer leader within 7 calendar days. You'll learn about the committee goals. You'll learn when the committee meets. Excuse me. You'll learn about current committee projects and how to get started, how to get involved. Goodness, I'm sorry. Almost there. Previous volunteers are presented at Points of Light. They've helped select Impact Award winners. They presented at Alive Academies. They've served on the board of directors, and they've become managers, directors, or executive directors in their organizations. So here's a couple of frequently asked questions. You have to be a member of Alive to volunteer. You do not have to be a member of Alive to volunteer, but you do have to be a member to access any of the benefits, as well as have any voting rights. And that's why we're working on like getting special access to different things as you volunteer if you're not quite yet a member. Is there an age requirement? Yes, you have to be a minimum of 18. Can your volunteer efforts be done on nights and weekends? Yes, absolutely. Typically, committees will meet during the week, 1 hour, 1 hour during the week per month. And then outside of that, all the tasks and everything that you are doing can take place outside of that. Is there a minimum number of hours? We're asking that everybody attempt to complete a minimum of 12 hours a year. So that's 1 hour a month. So that literally is that general admin hour. I mean, it might be 1 hour to you, but it multiplies what we're able to do and how much we get done exponentially. So it's 1 hour to you, but man, it's priceless to us. Can you join a committee at any time? Right now, committees, you can only join them quarterly because of the onboarding process and due to the projects that they're in the middle of. We just try to get people up and running before we bring new people in. But let's just say you go and you join a committee and it really wasn't what you want to do, and you might want to switch committees. So at that point, what we suggest is that you do general admin, because in general admin, you're going to be supporting the entire organization. So there's an admin thing that you might be supporting technology department, and then you might be supporting the development department, and so you'll be kind of be able to get like almost like a taste of each committee and the work that they're and the tasks that they are doing. And then that way you can become a little bit more familiar. So the next time we have the orientation, and the committees open back up again, you'll be a little bit more familiar and excited about what committee to join. So I ask you, what will your story be? How will you fit in? How are you, in a year's time volunteering for us? Not only you're going to help us move the vision and the mission forward, but how is it going to change your life? It's changed the life of so many volunteers with us so far. I'd love I'd love for us to be a part of your trajectory and your story as well. So I encourage you to register, join us, and in 2025, thrive with Alive. Now, questions. Are there any questions? I know I went through it pretty quickly. I'm not sure if there's any in the chat. You can raise your hand. You can come off of mute. Just let me know what questions you might have.
Hi, Nicole. This is Laura. There's no questions in the chat as of now.
Okay, thank you, Laura. Appreciate it. That is an Alive volunteer on top of things, helping us to move things smoothly. Yes. Anything else? Does anybody have any question? That means either we really did a great job or people are all in the bathroom. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. So, okay, since we have a few minutes, if you want to drop in the chat, when I ask, like, what is your why? Like, why are you here? What about this compelled you to want to volunteer with Alive? Also, while you're doing that, I want to put this out there. This whole process is new for us. We want your feedback. If things didn't make sense or links were broken, we did test drive everything, but you know how the test drive is. Everything's beautiful on the test drive, then you go live and it's like, what? If you see a part of it that can help make the transition smoother, whatever it is, as you are going through this, we would love your feedback on making this process just so we can streamline this process and make it better as we move forward as well. I love it. Thank you, Melinda. To network and show your knowledge and skills. You will absolutely network, and this is the place to display those skills, especially what I found is when I volunteered here, it was an opportunity for me to show and display skills that I had that I wasn't able to do in my workplace, and then go back and say, look, I did this over here, and this is how well it worked, to give proof and have data and metrics so that when I wanted to implement it, it helped me to get buy-in in my organization as well. Professional development and networking. This is the place to be. You'll have an opportunity. If you don't have it, maybe you want to move up, and maybe you're a coordinator and to move up to a director or a manager. And they're like, oh, this is what they used to tell me all the time. Oh, but you don't manage people. Lead a committee. Now you have management experience underneath you. And not only are you managing people, you're managing volunteers, right? People who don't have to be there. That's a whole different thing than managing staff. I mean, I'll be the first to say I think it's more difficult, but you know, I'm biased. So thank you. Let's see the name. It's let me see. Oh, it's going by fast. Woo! As someone relatively new, it's really helped me and continue to help others. Thank you, Samantha. Actually, yes, the email to contact me directly is nicole.smith@volunteeralive. The executive director email went away. So if anybody's trying to use that outside of here, that's a lot of in general, there's a lot of what we're trying to clean up. You can either info@volunteer.org, or if you wanted to connect with me directly, nicole.smith@volunteeralive.org. To learn and develop skills and network. Yes, I'm telling you, the skills that you will develop, the people skills, organizational skills, patience, all of those things. And it's a beautiful thing to put on your resume as a place where you have volunteered. I don't see any other questions. Thank you, Laura. She said, yes, thank you, Laura, for that. And so we have 2 minutes, and I just don't want to sit here and stall and have y'all listen to me talk for no reason. So if there aren't any other questions, I'm going to go ahead and end and, you know, gift you back a minute and a half. I mean, hey, it's a minute and a half. I hope all of you all were able to sign up for Gretchen's goodbye later on today. If not, all that information is on the website or the last newsletter, so you can still catch that. And I'll give everybody one last chance. If you didn't get a chance, put your first name, last name, email address in the chat to make sure that you get all of the information. It should get to you by Friday. If you have not heard anything by Friday, email us at either info@volunteer.org. info@volunteeralive.org or nicole.smith@volunteeralive.org, and just say, hey, I was at the orientation. I didn't get the email, just so that we can both cover for each other. All right. Thank you all so much. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.